A very beautiful Friday afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are watching us, this is Conference Vibes online TV show. And today we have got an amazing guest to discuss on the eve of 14th February. It will be an amazing show with super guests all the way from South Africa and all the way from the lakeside. I wish to introduce them in our show.
Uh, I'm Tepo Kennedy. My father's name is Mokoerani. From South Africa, a province called the Northwest. There's a town called Klerksdorp, and in Klerksdorp there is another location. It's a township. It's called Ganana. That's where I come from. Yes.
My name is Seth Ruto. I am a Kenyan, and I come from the lakeside. Like you have just said, I come from the lakeside. Unfortunately, my name suggests otherwise. But I come from the lakeside. Some people confuse me. They say, "Oh, could this be Ruto's son, the one we know?"
The president of the
The
country.
president of the content.
As we start the show, this is an historian and a developer. So this interview shall be the best. When we speak about Valentine, what comes into your mind, Sebu?
What comes into my mind, it's a day where people celebrate love. If I believe that if you feel love, you celebrated the day. That's what I believe.
Seth, what comes to your mind when we say this is Valentine? What comes into your mind?
Well, every time I think about Valentine, I think about what people know as love. However, on the other side, having seen some Valentines pass by, I also know that when Valentines end that very same day, we also expect some breakups. So it's a lovely day, but at the end, we also expect some breakups in the midst.
One of the main topics that we are going to discuss and focus most in this interview is that youth and Valentine. How does these two match? Yes.
Youth and Valentine. Let me begin by saying that I have seen in the recent past, when people talk about love, it appears that youths are leading in this love thing more than even those who are married, the couples. Currently, we're talking about the Valentine, which is just around the corner. And it seems like youths are up in voices about this. They are preparing for this more than even those who are married. And so when we talk about youth and Valentine, I think we are talking about the aspect of love, which is there in the youth that cannot be avoided in such like discussions.
Youth and Valentine. This appears to be one in one. What is your take, Seth?
My take is that, like I said, it's a day where when you feel love, you celebrate. I believe that young people, they feel love as well. Elder people, they feel love. So people celebrate the love this day. So it's not about age, it's about a feeling. Yeah, because we're gonna generalize it. If we're gonna base it on age and say it's what about youth, and then we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna have some debates like, can youth feel love? Okay, what type of young people should be celebrating it? Is it those who have money and those who don't have money? Understand? So my answer is simple. If you feel love, you celebrate the day.
Wow. Someone has said,
And if you don't feel,
when we experience this, the thing of Valentine, we expect some breakup. Does it mean that instead of making love strong within this month of love, we experience breakup? What does that mean?
well, what I meant by expecting the breakups is, and like I said, we have seen some Valentines that have passed by in the years that have gone by. We have seen couples, or we have seen youths who are in love fight on the Valentine Day instead of loving one another. Sometimes why this happens is because of expectations. And allow me say that I have seen so much in the social media. We are heading to Valentine, and it seems like only ladies expect the gifts so much. And we men on the other side, the best we can expect that day is to be posted on the status, and that's all. And that's why I say that, man, this time around, if they also don't gift us, we better attend the men's conference next time and protest about the love thing. So we have seen situations whereby on that day, everyone expects that my love is going to be there for me. And for some of us who, for some reasons, they are still undecided on who they love, they find themselves on the age of deciding, like, who is going to be my Valentine? And that day is when everything unfolds. You have to choose whether to be with the Sepo or to choose whether to be with Seth. And at the end, you must choose one person, and the other person is heartbroken.
Speaking about men's conference, or before we go to men's conference, does it mean that, for example, if I'm genuine that I have not a lot of cash to take my girlfriend for vacation, does it mean that I won't be posted or I won't celebrate the Valentine Day?
People celebrate the Valentine differently. You know, when it comes to celebrating love, it's celebrated by both the rich and poor. You understand? It's all about making someone you love feel special that day. So it's not about gifts. It's not about those things. They are, if you can do them, then it's fine. You understand? But we can't base Valentine on gifts and all those things. There are guys who have nothing. On Valentine, they will just cook for their women, and there are ladies who have nothing. That day, they will just cook for their guy, and maybe probably buy lingerie. It's all about celebrating love.
And I also think that we should not minimize love to only a 14th February affair. By the way, let me say this, and categorically, to those who are in love, the youth in love also. If you are in love with someone, you are a youth, you're not married, and you are in love with someone who only show affections much on 14th February, that's when your affection is showed much, then you still need to be in the market. Bado unahitaji kuwa soko. You need to be in the market.
Back to the market.
Yeah, because love should be an everyday affair.
Yeah, that's true.
I talk to you in the morning, I feel I'm loved. You feel you're loved. Not that we quarrel all these other days. Then when it comes to 14th February, I want to bring you flowers. I want to take you out. I want to go and treat you well. If I can't treat you well all these other days, and I want to treat you well on 14th February only, you still need to be in the market.
Someone was asking, why should I gift a girlfriend mwenye kila siku tumekuwa tukifanya na yeye assignment, tunainama na yeye, then on this day 14 ndio naenda kumtafutia, like I struggle a lot to get a gift for her. Why should I struggle for that? Does it mean that tuende pale tupige sherehe, tukuje kama niko uwanja tulale, tueje? Does it mean that sijampeleka mahali? Ama like huyu demu ataenda niache aseme, my boyfriend never treated me just like the other ladies the way they have been treated? Should we compare this treatment, or you should be treated according to your abilities?
I think he didn't understand that.
No, I got it. I got it. Don't worry, I got it. Look, you know, the issue of competition doesn't come from then. The issue comes from the past. Remember that the person that you're dating is someone's ex. So the person you're dating has been in relationships before. So it's probably that she was taken to Dubai. She was taken to America to celebrate Valentine. And then probably that lady meets you. You don't have money to take her to all those countries. You understand? So it's internal, this thing, because when you get into a relationship, you have to remember that you're dating someone's ex, and there's a specific way where she used to celebrate the Valentine. You understand? And probably she might not appreciate what you do because where she comes from. And you too, it's possible that you might not appreciate what she does for you because of where you come from. So comparison, it's always there. It's in our it's psychological.
Sir,
it's always
let me ask you,
there.
sir,
Yes.
you are saying that you are dating someone ex, and you must try to treat her according to the way she was treated in a previous relationship. Does it mean that before you start a relationship, you should come with your CV that I can see you are taken from somewhere, you are taken from Dubai, you are taken from Mombasa, in a way that I can be treating the way you are treated by your ex? Does it mean so?
You know, when I propose to a lady, for her to accept my proposal, it means she has assessed me and she has decided in her heart that she will live within my means if I am to treat her. So if she was with the Sepo, who used to fly her to South Africa and then to those other places, and now she comes to my side where we only go by the lakeside and watch those are the things by the lake, she must decide before she comes into the relationship that this is this guy and I have to take him this way. So that if tunainama pale barasi or outside in our life, yeah, we don't have much, she must be prepared to live that way. Yeah. So she must be aware that I used to be taken to Dubai, but this is what life is currently.
Does it mean that someone should come with a CV?
You, I won't say no and I won't say yes. You know, the issue of love is a difficult thing, number one, because sometimes you can find yourself being in love with someone that can afford you. And then you end up being in between, whether you should continue with this guy or you should look for someone who will be able to grant you according to your needs. You understand? So the issue of love is difficult. But then what I believe is that, like Seth said, when we get into a relationship, we present ourselves and our backgrounds, where we come from. And then if you feel like it's too much for you or it's too little for you, and then there is no way for us to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because at the end, I'm going to be under pressure. I'll end up being a bank robber so that I can take you to Dubai. So it's gonna, and a lot of guys, they are suffering from that, you know. They are trying to surpass what the exes have been doing, understand? And they find themselves in debts and all those things. Whereas they shouldn't be in that position. Love sets you free. Love doesn't bond you to be a slave of presence or of celebrating love. Yeah.
And I think that is the idea why we have a lot of youths trying out love, and there are a lot of breakups because we want to live within a means that we cannot afford. So I think it's very important that we learn to understand that this is what this person can afford, and I must agree to this. And that probably is the reason why we are heading to Valentine's, and it seems a lot of people are still single, and most of the single people are men.
But let me say this. You know, there are a lot of philosophers who would say that for the fact that you feel love, that doesn't mean you're ready to practice love. And I think this should be advised to not young people, but to elderly people. You understand? For the fact that you feel like you're emotionally attached to someone, that doesn't mean you're ready to practice it. Because when you feel love, it's okay, it's normal. But to practice it, it's another page of life. Because now you have to prove your love to that person. You understand? So people end up practicing their emotion, whereas they're not ready to be in a relationship. That is why we have a lot of breakups.
So people should stay single
I'm not saying
if
that
they're not ready. And for sure, for me as an activist of the boy child, because of course Sepo is also my friend. He knows this man from South Africa.
Soon
is
you are
my friend.
becoming the chairman of men's conference.
No, we should vote for you. We should vote for you.
You see, as an activist for boy child, I have always said, and I will say this here again, for any man out here, any youth out here who is listening to me, that if you are still struggling financially, for instance, you are in university, yeah, you are a university student and you're still struggling financially to be stable on your own, to afford your food, to afford your basic needs. I tell you, if you're still struggling financially, do not be into a serious love, and do not go in with a lady who you know is expensive than you can afford. If you're still struggling financially, you better stay single until you are stable to manage a relationship. Right? Managing relationship in Kenya, in Africa, is not easy today. That's the
Sebu,
truth.
saying
And for
that-
us men, it's not.
saying that before you are financially stable, you must before having a girlfriend, you must be financially stable. Does it mean because most of the students are getting outside and they still for around
Post that.
2 years without a girlfriend? Does it mean that until you get money, that is when you should engage into a relationship?
Love doesn't revolve around money. Money is used to not to buy love, but to prove that I love you. If I pass by a store and I see a beautiful dress that can fit my woman, I don't buy it because I'm buying her love. I'm buying it because I love her already. You understand? So now, when it comes to talk of issues of money and love, and then what Seth is saying, partly it's right. The reason why it's because of you get into a relationship and you can't afford this person.
Yeah, you're still
you understand?
struggling.
You're struggling to afford this person. The reality is that when you are dating, much is expected from you, both a lady and a guy. You understand? And we don't live in a society whereby only guys can buy things. We live in a society where women can buy things as well. You understand? Because like currently, if you look at the statistics, women are making much money more than guys now. Does that mean that if I'm making less and my woman makes more, does that mean I can't date her because she's making more money? Does that mean that? Yeah.
Ile kiburi wako nayo.
As we end this discussion, I am being your favorite host, Mr. Vibes Kenya. As we end this talk, Sebu, just the man and the lady outside this society is expecting advice from you as they approach the 14th Feb. Just on this camera, please advise them. Advise them. Be close to them.
Guys, let us not only celebrate love on Valentine, let us celebrate it always. Because if we celebrate it only on Valentine, then we're only gonna feel love on Valentine. But if we do it throughout, and then Valentine it becomes easy because love has been celebrated throughout.
Seb,
Yes,
your
yes.
last one to the ladies outside, they are approaching 14th Feb.
The last thing I would like to say as we exit is that I know some of you on that 14th of February are not going to be given gift because a lot of people are expecting gift. Some of you that day will not be given gift. Some of you will not be loved. What I want to say is that do not die for love. If they don't love you, kill the relationship and stay. Do not die for relationship. If you are not loved, the worst thing of all in life is that someone you love one day can wake up and say, look, it's over. And despite all the conversations you have had, the sacrifices you have made, there is nothing you will do. Pick up yourself and move on. 14th February is not the end of the world.
Guys, thank you for watching. Please remember subscribing.